War Eagle, War Report family. I'm your host, C-Dub. And tonight, we got a lot to talk about. And y'all know what it is. TJ Finley commits to Auburn, and it has the entire Auburn fan base buzzing and talking about it. We got our thoughts. I'm pretty sure you guys have your thoughts as well. And we're going to talk about it tonight. Fellas, y'all ready for a great show?
Man, let's go.
Well, they're ready. You should be as well, because we are entering the war room.
You are now listening to the War Report. Wednesday night War Room. Ike Jones. B. Will. C. Doe. Mike G. Let's go.
War Eagle again, everyone.
Woo.
Happy Hump Day. Welcome, everyone. As you're coming on into the War Room, please, by all means, smash that like button. Give us a War Eagle in the comments.
Wait, Caesar, wait. Got to shout out my man, Maine Easy, Jay Hall in here. I think this is the first time I've seen on a live, Maine. We appreciate you. We repost his graphics from time to time. So we appreciate he's a good source of Auburn content.
War Eagle to you, man. Welcome to your first stream, man. Also, please be sure to share this video, guys, on your social medias, Facebook, Twitter. You know what to do. Add us if you're on Twitter at the War Report. Use the hashtags that you see below. It helps us out a ton to spread the word that we're out here dropping great content in the off season. Mike G, what announcements we got, man? I think we got a charity that we're working on, right?
Oh man, we do. Listen, we have officially partnered with the Lee County Humane Society. They are legally partnered with us. We're raising money for a good cause. We've set a goal this year. It's aggressive, man. We want to raise $100,000 for the Humane Society. They take in a lot of animals every year. The average dog stays in their care for over 30 days. It costs them $19 a day to take care of animals. They have rehomed hundreds of pets. They have also found hundreds of lost pets that they have sent back home to their owners. So, we in lieu of super chats, because we love super chats, but if you want to go an extra step and help us put some good back into the world, this is how we've chosen to do it, guys. Like Ike and I, both have rescue animals. They're great pets and add a lot of value to our lives. So you can support us by doing that. Also, tonight, we are giving away a Bo Jackson Kansas City Royals card. So all you have to do to be eligible for this is to drop a hashtag save a pet in the comments to register. That's hashtag save a pet. And we're going to give, I'm happy to be able to do this. This comes courtesy of our main man, Risk No Reward. So he is giving away these cards. He's given them to us to give to you. So we are happy to be able to do this. So hashtag save a pet in the comments. I will see as you guys register here. And we're going to pull at the 1 hour mark. You got to be here at the end to win. So other than that, becoming insider, $5.99 a month will get you there. Our next Chop It Up with a Pro is with King Dunlap. We're bringing him back to review offensive line play, because the last time we were on here, somebody was yelling at me about how we never talk about the offensive line, right? So we're going to do it again, and we're bringing King back. We're going to look at the tape from the 8A game to get some O-line tape that's a little bit more relevant to what we're going to see in the fall. And we're looking forward to doing that with King. He's got a great mind. He's actually working with young kids now, training them up to be future offensive linemen. So we're looking forward to doing that as well.
And I actually enjoy watching his videos too of him training these kids, man. He's
Yeah,
actually
man,
posted a lot of his stuff on Instagram. He's doing great work out here. So we got a lot of former Auburn players out here doing great work, working with kids. And I look forward to seeing them walking and roaming the sidelines one day of someone's school, man. We got a lot of talented cats who've transitioned into coaching, and they're doing an amazing job. Also, man, I want to shout out people in the comments. Y'all are ready tonight. Like, y'all are eager to get in here and talk some football, and there's too many of y'all to name. So welcome everyone. We see you, Groundworks. We do appreciate that. You became a member of the War Report family not too long ago, so we appreciate you. Also, a burner account is in here.
What up?
I see him in a minute.
So he's already getting to it. And we see you, King. We
Dynasty
see you, King.
O-line.
Let them know who you repping, bro. So yes, indeed, man. We're already here, man. We're already talking about it. News on the Plains hit Monday. TJ Finley from Louisiana transferred out of LSU. He's been the talk of the Auburn fan base for what, a week or the past 2 weeks. Highly speculation that he was going to commit to Auburn, and he actually makes it official this past Monday. 6'7". I've heard different weights from him ranging from 230 to 250. Nevertheless, he's a big dude.
Yeah,
right. Big dude. Last year, he completed about 57% of his passes. He played in about 5 games. He was 80 of 40 in terms of completions, 941 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in 2020. He will have 4 years eligibility remaining. He was on a show. Believe I saw it on Monday. He did it online. He actually silently committed to Auburn last week and decided to make it official on Monday. So he was already a commitment. He was already locked and loaded with Auburn. And so he's there. And we got some other things we want to share with that, but just want to talk with the fellas because, again, as y'all know our policy, and there goes Ike Jones.
But that man.
Listen, I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. We usually wait till a person commits to really give our thoughts on this guy. I want to start with you, B. Will. What are your thoughts with this commitment?
I ain't want you to go to me first because I ain't want to be the first to say something. I wanted Mike to say something first, but it's all good. We'll get there.
We can switch it around. Well, yeah, Mike can go.
All right, Mike, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, cool. Mike. What are your, and listen, let's just talk about the kid. Let's just talk about the kid. We're gonna get into the whole competition. Let's talk about the commitment.
Right.
What are your thoughts on TJ Finley?
Yeah, I want to clarify. These are my first public comments on TJ Finley's play in terms of him coming to Auburn and whether I like it or not. Right. So let me now, for the very first time, say I like it. Now, we did not see this coming. I didn't personally see this one coming.
None of us did.
Yeah, I didn't see this one coming. But it is kind of underscores on a small segue about what the portal has done to recruiting. Right? Signing day seems like eons ago, where we were all kind of like, man, this was kind of a disappointing signing day. And then we picked up Dylan Brooks after. Right. And it was like, I got it. That was like a little cherry on top. And then 8A came and we were like, man, we got one quarterback and a true freshman. And it looked for a while like the only option that we were going to have in lieu of Bo either getting hurt or not playing well was to throw Demetrius Davis in there. Who knows what point in the season that could be, if at all. And then the coaches go out and they do something like this with a guy who has 4 years of eligibility remaining. So now let's talk about his play. He had an up and down freshman campaign. Now, he was not the starter at the beginning of his season. He got thrust into action when the starter got hurt. He looked like the real deal for the first few games. And then as most freshmen do when they finally have to go on the road in the SEC, he looked like a freshman. Yeah. We made him look not great.
Yeah.
So, do I hold that against him? I don't know, man. Like I don't think that I can. It's tough for true freshmen on the road in the SEC, in our league. We ate him up. Now, he ended up losing the job to Max Johnson. Max played well, man. He didn't give it back. And then this spring at LSU, he proved why he probably should have been the number 2 to begin with. But I think that just underscores how much talent they had in their quarterback room to begin with. So how do I see TJ Finley? Tons of talent, right? Raw and undeveloped, but tons of talent. And we have a new system. We got a head coach and an offensive coordinator who like a quarterback to sit in the pocket and go through their progressions. And that's his game. My question will be, has the game slowed down enough for him from year 1 to year 2 to be an effective quarterback in Harson's system? You know, I'm on the fence about whether or not our receivers are going to be able to help him a whole lot because we just haven't seen it. I think we have tons of talent at wide receiver. I've been on record about which ones I'm excited about. But A-Day also showed us that we've got a lot of work to do there too.
Yeah.
So what do we need from the quarterback this season? Right? We've already acknowledged we're going to be run heavy, and we need a quarterback that can come into the game and make some plays with his arm to keep the defense honest. We don't need a Heisman winner at quarterback this season. We need to keep the wheels on the wagon until the last game. Make a bowl game, keep it pushing to next season. So Harsin can keep building this thing up. And I will end my diatribe by saying, as Auburn fans, we have been so ruined for the last 8 years because the gulf between QB1 and QB2 has been so wide that fans are losing their damn mind, that they don't know what to do. You got fans saying there's no way he's going to beat out Bo and blah. They don't know. We don't know what a QB competition looks like because we've been sold for almost a decade that the backup just barely lost the job, only for the backup to go into the game and look like he never played football before. So this is new. This is new for a lot of us. I think a lot of us just have questions. But I like the idea that the coaches are bringing in somebody who has the mindset that he is going to challenge for the job now. And I want to clarify this because it seems to be a lot of misconceptions about what TJ Finley said. So I'm going to quote him, because I spent the last 5 days making sure I had the facts straight on what he said. He said, the best situation for me is to go to a school where I can compete right now. But even if I don't win the job, whoever I lose the job to is not in the same class as me. So that I am not sitting for 3 years in the same situation behind some guy who was already the incumbent. So what does that mean? He chose Auburn because he feels like he can win the job here now. And all the fans of our current quarterback just don't want to hear that. Now, whether he will or not, who knows? Let's watch a competition and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we've seen anything on the field so far to say that if this kid comes in and shows out and he had a good offseason, that he won't garner some strong consideration. I'm ready to see an actual QB competition because at the end of it, the product, the result should be that both guys raise their game to another level. TJ Finley, Bo, and don't forget about my guy Demetrius. Because he does not want to be forgotten in all this talk. He's got Man Easy posted some videos of him out there throwing balls. He's out there working too. Let's go, man. Competition has to be back. We should embrace it as fans. Stop picking a side. Pick the side of Auburn. Whatever guy wins it.
Right.
Okay, Brian.
Before you go, Brian, I do want to point this out. I think it was the Jordy Collada show. It was on YouTube, and TJ Finley called in after he announced his commitment via Twitter, and actually talked to him about his decision. And in that interview, he revealed a lot that he had silently committed. Mm-hmm. And he also stated that he was told that it was going to be an open competition. So this isn't a kid just being cocky or whatever. He's just saying what he's been told from the coaching staff.
That's not a shot at Bo either.
And that's not a shot at Bo.
That's not so Bo.
In fact, here's what Harsin had to say about it. He was interviewed recently, and he was asked about the competition. He can't really talk about TJ because I don't think TJ has signed yet. Is that correct, guys? I'm not sure if he's signed yet, so he had to kind of talk around him, but this is his statement. The quarterback room is about toughness. It's about preparation. It's about decision making. It's about accuracy. But these guys, you want to have the ultimate competitors in that room, and it really starts with themselves. That's
Facts.
Brian Harsin's statement about competition in the quarterback room. And he went on to say a whole lot. He wants competition at every level.
Right.
So
right.
I just want to know, starting with UB, because we already throwing out the word competition. What do you feel about the fact that we may actually have a QB battle on the Plains?
It will be the first time in a very long time. I think I was thinking back to 2015. We've already talked about our last administration a lot, and the QBs, the lack of QB battles, and as Mike said, that's not something that we're really used to. 2015, Sean White was the only guy I think who had the mental makeup to be great. He did not have the durability or physical tools, but he had the mental makeup to be great. And it didn't work out for other reasons because, again, he had some other stuff going on. But I bring up Sean White because this is the first time that anybody has been in the quarterback room who I've even heard an inkling of, I'm going to go get it. Like Sean White was one, and he didn't even have the tools to be that confident. But he was confident. He believed in himself.
To a fault. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And to hear this kid, TJ Finley, talking about why he's coming here, even prospectively, when he had not committed yet, at least publicly. Wherever I go, and I'm paraphrasing, but I'm going somewhere where I think I have a chance to win this job. And I believe that I can win that job. It was more about what is the year classification of the starter in front of me right now at that place, not what can they do that I can't do. He left that quarterback battle at LSU believing in himself. That obviously after the spring, the coaches told him something he didn't like, or else he would not have left. That's what I believe. That makes sense. If I'm going by what he said, what he communicated to the press and in interviews, he wasn't going to get what he wanted there. I wonder, because I watched no LSU spring ball. I watched no LSU tape from last year besides the Florida game, which he didn't play in, and our game against them. I don't know what the kid is capable of. I know what some of LSU's limitations were last year, mostly on defense, some on offense. A lot of that was by experience. None of those guys had started. I would give anybody a year to figure out what you can do mentally. Do you believe in yourself? When you got on that field, were you shaking? Was it just something that you saw and it surprised you, and then you came back like, you know what, I think I can do this? He believes in himself a whole lot, and I am extremely pleased that we have a guy who believes in himself that much. That's the number one thing that I thought about TJ Finley. Okay, so what did the coaches tell you? Like, that's the, I know we're saying, oh, it's about competition, and Bo's saying, yeah, look at me throw, it's about competition. But listen, man, did you come out of the spring thinking, did Harsin go, hey, listen, Bo, we like what you did this spring. We're going to get somebody else. It's not that you owe him that. You are the coach. You don't owe a player an explanation. If a player doesn't like what happens, they can leave. They have that option more now than they ever had before. I'm not saying it would be unfair if Brian Harsin went and got TJ Finley without talking to Bo or letting him know where he stood. But I gotta wonder, man, what's that dynamic like? What's that? What are those conversations like when everybody's getting their evals at the end of the spring and certain guys are hearing that they're not going to start and they thought they were going to start because they had been kind of coming down the pipeline of the last staff, and I'm not, well, I'm out of here. What is going on in Bo's head, in Didi's head? I know what's going on in Finley's head. We know that. That's a known. I'm coming for this job. I don't care who's there, as long as y'all aren't my exact same class and already kind of pegged as a starter. Fine. He's comfortable out-dueling a junior Bo as technically a redshirt freshman, I guess you could say he is. I am so interested in that dynamic now because we've talked a lot about what the defense has done in the transfer portal. A whole lot. We know they've got every guy in our neck of the woods who they put a peg on and said, I think we should get him. They've got him. It's worked out great. We're looking stellar over there. We got a safety, a corner, 2 defensive tackles after we lost 2 defensive tackles. One is outside, inside. We're doing good. Offense, we've been wondering, man, we're short behind Bo. Didi has the juice. He doesn't have the experience. Offensive tackle. Wide receiver, we think we got the talent, but we don't have the experience. What's going on? The offense's first get is a quarterback. Like, that doesn't, of everything that we thought we were going to see from the coaching that Harsin was giving Bo during A-Day, from the conversations and the lack really of, it looked like they didn't believe in anybody behind Bo at A-Day. So what you get, this could just be insurance. It could just be insurance as a quality number 2, so you don't have to burn Didi too early. And it would be a great structural move. But is it something else? That's what I want to know. Yeah, we're not going to get that answer soon.
I firmly reject that. It's just insurance. 100%.
I just don't want to. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I do. Because we don't. If you came out of spring not believing that you had a number 2, right? You need 2 guys who believe that they're the guy. Mm-hmm. Every better program has 2 guys that think that they're their guy. And there are only a few situations in college football where the new guy comes in knowing that he's not going to beat out the incumbent. If you came in while Trevor Lawrence was at Clemson, you'd be like, all right, unless this dude's arm falls off, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Right? There's a few programs in college football where that's the truth. And even then, guys, what did Chris Todd tell us? They're always, it doesn't matter if you won the Heisman. They're always trying to bring somebody in who's better than you.
Right.
Because you one blown knee away from us needing that guy.
Yeah.
We just have never had him. That's why I reject the idea that it's about insurance. Right? Because your number 2 he's got to be just as good as your number 1. And we got to start believing again that when somebody wins a job, he did actually just barely beat out. Listen, Finley leaving LSU I don't think that is a black mark on Finley. I think that's a credit to how much talent LSU has recruited at that position. Because you see, you're going to have attrition.
Right.
When you recruit well, you're going to have attrition because everybody can't play. That's what they did. They went out and they got what they felt like were the best guys. And how often do you go into a spring with 3 guys battling for a job that you have game tape on all of them?
Right.
They had game tape on every single quarterback that was vying for that job.
Mm-hmm.
We had game tape at Auburn on one.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
I
two technically, but
I mean, yeah, we ain't gonna go there. But like, that's all I'm saying. At Auburn, we had game tape on one. In LSU, at their system, they had game tape on 3.
They had tape on
Yeah.
2. The other was Grant Lloyd. But yeah, to your point.
Guys, come on, man. Like, so I'm just saying, it's got to be about bringing in a guy, and to be clear, all this, because he did say in an interview, I'm here to make Bo better. He's here to make me better. You know how you make Bo better? By making him have to lay his life on the line for the job. It's not by holding hands and singing Kumbaya. It's by trying to take the job from his guy. We've talked to so many players. It's about competition. It's about that dog mentality. Step up or sit down, because I'm coming for you. Everything you got. Wallet, keys, bank account, all of it.
Girl.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Come on, man. Girl.
Hey, listen. All right, I jump in, man.
Oh, man.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on all of this, man?
Well, first and foremost, welcome to the Plains, TJ Finley. If you're watching,
For sure.
we appreciate you coming in and lending your athletic ability. My thing on this whole thing is that TJ Finley is everything that Bo Nix is not. And that's going to sound like I'm bagging on Bo Nix. Let me explain to you that Bo Nix is everything TJ Finley is not. So let me tell you what I mean by that. Bo Nix is an athletically gifted young man who relies, the mass majority of his play is relying upon his athletic ability, whether that is his feet and his escape ability or his arm strength throwing from random, unpredictable angles. He relies a lot on his athletic prowess to make plays on a consistent basis. All of the wow plays that you see from Bo Nix, most of them involve him doing something he's just naturally gifted to do, right? It's not read progression. Oh my God, wow, did you see the way he went through and da-da-da? He really dissected that defense that game. You don't see that from Bo. You see athletic wow plays, right? TJ Finley is almost the exact opposite. Though he's a bigger kid, he's not out there wowing you with his ability to do these, he moves within the pocket. He tries to stay poised within the pocket, and he's trying to make plays with his arms for the most part. He's not an escape artist, right? He's going to, some design runs, he can get you some yards and all that kind of stuff, but that's not his game, right? And so they are basically polar opposites of one another as quarterbacks. The question for me is going to be who moves the needle further in the thing that they don't do well faster. Mm-hmm. Because TJ Finley being able to make plays from the pocket, unfortunately, unless our offensive line makes some huge strides, he's a sitting duck back there. Mm-hmm. And he's going to have to figure out how to throw under duress continuously. And we saw in our game against LSU when Finley was back there, throwing under duress just isn't the recipe for success. So to Mike's point, is the game going to slow down for him enough for him to be able to process well pre-snap? And do we now have a coaching staff that will put him in a position where he can make the quick, easy throws to challenge the defense in other ways so that they have to remain, stable and not trying to stack the box against our run game, which should be the strength of this.
Right.
On the other end, Bo Nix, is he going to be able to correct his tendencies to just want to escape quickly if he feels pressure? Is he going to have the poise to remain in the pocket? And is he going to be able to deliver balls accurately, consistently from the pocket? Whoever makes those strides to cover those gaps the quickest is the guy who I think wins the job, right? I don't think that there's any problem whatsoever bringing in someone else to compete in that space. And that's not even mentioning Demetrius Davis, who I feel like today, if you were to ask me who's the best quarterback on our roster, all of you people who absolutely love Bo Nix, you can hate me if you want to. I still say the answer is Demetrius Davis. Mm-hmm. The issue with Demetrius is he's not ready for the speed of the SEC game today, right? And so you don't want to throw him out there game one.
Right.
And I mean, you could get him a couple of games against some teams that aren't SEC, but then his first test would be on the road at Penn State.
Right.
that's throwing that young man to the wolves. And you want him to come in and mop up duty, get his rhythm together, figure it out, maybe even redshirt a year, and then throw him out there when he's ready and he's been able to see that consistently. He's gotten some more of that, I ain't gonna say grown man strength, but as you know, he's a freshman, right? So he hadn't even really fully grown into his body, all those sorts of things, right? So he still has some maturation he needs to do, both physically and mentally, to get to the game speed that's necessary to be effective as a starter game in and game out in the SEC. So you're really down to a two-man race this season. And for me, again, it's going to be about who makes the biggest strides in that other stuff. Is Finley going to be able to make some off-schedule throws and plays that we didn't really see from him in his time at LSU to make sure that you can make up for the fact that maybe your offensive line isn't going to be sound? Or is Bo Nix going to figure out how to be composed from the pocket consistently? Whoever does that the best in this fall, in the summer, that's the guy you're going to see starting the majority of the games. Now, I'm not talking about day one starter. I think right now, if they were to hike the ball today, game one, Bo Nix is your starter, right? And that's not even about who understands the playbook better, none of that nonsense, right? This is just about he's the entrenched starter. Finley has to come take that job from that young man, right? Yeah. And by all accounts, from his own mouth, he absolutely believes he can do that. That's what anybody who hears him say anything about we can push each other to be better don't understand that they're saying the same thing that I just told you, which is I know I have some things to work on that he's better than me at. He has some things to work on that I'm better than him at. Game on. We'll see who gets to the spot first. Let's see whoever gets there first, the guy who's behind him, I hope he is barely losing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I honestly don't care who wins. I don't care which one of them wins, as long as it's the best guy, as long as I can trust the evaluation process from the new staff. And this is the thing that we have to begin to figure out, whether or not we have a trustability in our coaching staff to pick the correct players, right? Right. Let's be clear about a couple of things. We haven't felt that confidence prior to now, right? And in addition to, we can say that from an evaluation standpoint, TJ Finley apparently looks great in practice because he beat out Max Johnson at LSU for the number 2 spot. Right. So we know he's going to come light it up in practice. He's going to look good when there's no lights on. He actually didn't look too bad in a couple of other games. Like Auburn fans saw our game against LSU and automatically think TJ Finley is trash. I'm not ready to go there yet. Again, he was a freshman making his second start against one of the best defenses in the conference. Yeah, he's going to look bad. I'm sorry. Like, I just, if he went out there and lit it up against LSU, he's still the starter today at LSU. I mean, against Auburn last year, he's still the starter today at LSU. There's just no two ways about that. Yeah, right. And so I just don't understand how you see that, because would we be thinking the same thing if Max Johnson was the guy that transferred over? Right. So let's say TJ Finley gets back in there. He was doing really well. Max Johnson decides he wants to leave and he comes over. Are we saying, this kid, he has no chance to start? I don't think so. Right. Like, I just don't understand the mindset that allows you to do two things: ignore what he said out of his own mouth and ignore the things that he's being told by the coaches, and the coaches are echoing publicly. You have to ignore all of that and say, oh, that's just coach speak. But then those same people will come to our comment section and tell us we don't know what's going on because we're not in the locker room. How y'all gonna have it both ways? Either we all don't know, or we all know. And I can tell you what the man said himself. Right. And he said he was coming here to compete. He didn't say he was coming here to back anybody up.
Yeah, no. He didn't say he was coming here to take over when Bo leaves. Right. That's not what he said. Right. And the idea, again, because we have just not seen the competitiveness at the quarterback position, a real QB competition. Right. Because when Nick Marshall was here, we thought that was the beginning of us starting a pipeline at that position. Jeremy Johnson came in on some mop-up duty, and he looked great. We were like, whoa, when this guy takes over the offense, it's going to look completely different because his skill set is completely different than Nick Marshall's. He threw for like 300 yards and a half. And we were all blown away and felt really good that when Nick's time was done, this offense was in good hands. It didn't pan out that way. But let me tell you, I lean more to these coaches ruined Jeremy Johnson then he was a bust. Because he wasn't a one-off. Every other freshman QB that came through here, man, and now we have new coaches, and they're seeing something in Finley. And like it or not, Bo's not their guy. Finley's more their guy than Bo. They picked him.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So to Ike's point, which I really like, this race will come down to who can clean up their room the fastest. Who can make their bed the fastest?
I think
That's
too. I think too. What we should be celebrating as Auburn fans is we have a coach who doesn't appear to be playing favorites.
Whoa,
we have
man.
a head coach who sees the big picture and just wants competition at every position. I think about work. I think about my job. I think about there's an opportunity to have a promotion. You got people in the department gunning for that promotion. I'm working hard. I'm bringing my A game every day. That person's working hard and bringing their A game every day. Regardless of who wins that promotion, rest assured, there's a lot of productivity going on in that office.
Yeah, right.
Because everyone is busting their
Everybody wants
behinds to get that promotion. That's what's going to happen to this offense.
Yeah. Listen.
And what you want to hope is that the culture that it breeds is not one of jealousy because you didn't get the award or the promotion, right? And that you say to yourself, the next opportunity that pops up, that's mine. And I'm going to keep working and I'm going to keep working. I'm going to work harder every single day to make sure when the opportunity comes, I'm ready. You know, King was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still in here. He can attest to if the coaching staff does their job properly, at a moment's notice, if you're asked to step in there and you have to replace a guy who's being productive, you're going to come in here and it's going to feel like we never missed a beat.
Never miss a beat.
Right.
You see it everywhere else.
You have to have the mindset that allows you to say, okay, I didn't get it this time, but let me get my foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I guarantee you, nobody's going to feel like I didn't deserve this spot.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I know Brian hates this example, but I just think it's so relevant, right?
It's going to be the Saban to
Jalen Hurts. Yeah. 26-2 as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you pull that guy in a national title game is if you know what you got on the bench.
Yeah, because if Tua is not ready to go in there, he doesn't play, period. Like, I don't care how talented he is and all this stuff. They need to, if Tua is not ready to play, Saban can't make that call. So a portion of that is Tua being ready.
Right. And feeling like he was the guy. He never gave the job back.
Right.
Saban looks like a genius.
Let me just say, I'm so glad to see Uzi back in the comment section, man. Uzi, man, we've been missing you down here, bro.
Yeah, man. So that's all I'm
did
saying.
y'all already say happy birthday to my man, JC?
No.
James Coleman, it's his birthday.
Oh,
today,
James.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday to you, bro.
So
also too, we got a high school graduate, man, in the comments.
Casey.
Casey graduated.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Hey.
buddy. We saw you. We just didn't get around to. We was deep in this talk, but congratulations, my man.
My bad. I'm just interrupting with all little stuff. But yeah, go ahead, Mike. Yeah, he said
Nick Saban was a genius again, and we can ease up on that. Listen, man,
it ain't about him being a genius. It's about him knowing what's on his bench and always having the next guy up. So scratch Saban from the list, man. Lincoln Riley, who's the dude up at Ohio? Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Right. Dabo Sweeney. And these guys all have next guy up in their quarterback.
Yeah, because like when Trevor Lawrence was down with COVID, DJ Olunga
came in and threw for 400 yards.
He did his thing.
Came in and
game.
threw for 400 yards.
Yeah.
Now he made some mistakes. It wasn't a flawless game, but the talent was clearly on level with Trevor. They have some different skill sets. And the only difference that I saw in the two quarterbacks was just experience. So can we have that at Auburn? That's all I'm saying. Our
Right.
best case scenario is that both quarterbacks make a huge leap. And if somebody has to transfer out, it's not because they didn't get a shot on a team that didn't do nothing.
Right.
It's because we really are just stacked with talent. Yeah. So maybe what we're seeing in this exodus of players is that there were some guys that were recruited that got misevaluated. And they had the talent that we thought they had. And now the coaches are bringing in the guys who do have that talent. Because what I saw last year on tape was I saw a guy who went in and shredded up South Carolina. A feat that our quarterback did not pull off. That might have been his worst game of the season.
No, it would not bite if it was.
So I'm just saying, I'm like, come on, can we just acknowledge that his talent? I mean, it's not like he's that far behind. His talent ceiling is just as high as Bo's. They just have different skill sets. And there is room for both on this roster. And if one transfers out, what I hope is that DD's back there saying, all right, sleep on me if you want to. I'm going to keep working.
Yeah.
Right?
And all of
get my
this,
shot.
yeah, and all of this, you've said it already. What's not lost on me is the mentality that Demetrius Davis is bringing to this entire situation.
Man, listen, he's sleeping.
He came in realizing he was going to likely be sitting behind Bo already, right? So, like, bringing in somebody else to compete for the starting job, he's like, I likely wasn't going to start anyway.
Right.
But let one of y'all slip. I promise you I'm going to be ready. And he is out there working, and he's putting on his own, campaign out here on social media. He's like, look, I'm going to show you I'm working too. Look at these lasers I'm throwing on these 15, 20-yard outs while rolling. He's not out there just laying down and saying, all right, well, if they don't want me to start this season, I'm going to just chill. Nah, he's out there working, bro. And, props to Bo Nix. Bo Nix is like, cool.
He's not. Yeah,
welcome
he's
to
working.
the family.
Yeah.
Let me go down here and work a little bit then.
Yeah.
He's not taking any of this
I like
line
all
down.
that. I like
Right,
all
just-
that, bro.
It's
So-
everybody's working, man.
Right,
That's
but-
what I want to see.
Yeah.
But to Brian's point about what did the coaches possibly say to Bo? Nothing. The answer is nothing.
And I didn't
We
think
need
so.
a number. Yeah, we need a number. We need more than just you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go out and we're gonna get that guy. And if that's some guy who can come in and take the job from you, that's football. You say nothing. You don't owe him that. Right? And can we put that Harsin graphic back up again just for a second? Right? The quarterback room is about toughness. Full stop. Okay, you can take it down. Toughness. That's not just physical toughness, man. That's mental toughness. How do you cultivate mental toughness? You are challenged not only by your coach, but by your peers, by the people around you. How do they challenge you? Well, in football, it's by trying to take your spot.
Yeah.
In practice, if I'm an O lineman versus a D lineman, I'm trying to whoop your ass every practice. Man, what did Ben Grubbs tell us about, again, the practice that he had with King? He said King just wasn't pulling his weight. And he did what a big brother should do, and he toughened him up. King said, I needed that moment. I wasn't where I needed to be up here. My brother saw that and got in my ass a little. Okay, great. That's competition, man. That's what it's supposed to be. He got him ready. And at different positions, it looks a little different. Because O-line is a lot more physical. But at quarterback, it just so happens you go out there and you use your skill set to the best of your ability to make sure that if you do not win the job, the coaches have a really tough decision to make.
Right.
And it's not just coach speak when they come into the room and say, you just missed it, but I think we're going to go with Bo. But we want you to be ready because it could be your turn at any point.
Yeah.
Right.
And the backup has to believe that. or he's not going to stay.
Right.
Right.
And in a quarterback room, you need at least 2 guys to believe that every year.
Right.
Absolutely.
I want to know what Caesar thinks before I bounce back off of you, Mike.
No, I mean, again, I said in the previous one, we've been fortunate to not have our primary quarterback go down with an injury, right? Because there was no one behind their quarterback. We've been fortunate that didn't burn us. And we're in a position now to where we have 3 quarterbacks who are talented. Right. We have 3. That's and a coach who is saying, and again, I'll read another quote from him. We don't have a graphic for it, but he says, this is Harsin. Competition keeps you focused. It gets you up out of bed in the morning and drives you towards improvement.
Hell, we do that on the walk for.
Yeah, like
I was gonna bring that up for real. Like that's really pushed us.
Hell yeah. Listen, man. When I turn on my YouTube and I see another channel doing some stuff that we may not be doing, bet that up. Not only I'm going to do that, I'm going to reinvent the game.
Right. I'm going to figure out how to do the thing that you do. I'm gonna put my own twist on it. But like I said, it's about, all right, that's a clear hole in our game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can we figure out what we're not doing, to make this better, whether it's the way that it's being produced, to the quality of competition should drive you to be better every single day. And if you see competition and it makes you run, then you were not built.
You're not a competitor.
You weren't built to be number one.
Right. right. Yeah. Listen, CM has a comment here I want to address. He said, I believe Dede ends up transferring. As much as I like him, I don't know if he stays, if he doesn't get lost between guys. Like, hey, listen, that is a possibility. And y'all know how I feel about Demetrius. So if he doesn't get his shot here, I hope he gets it somewhere. Yeah. But I want it to be because we actually did bring in guys that were better than him. Correct. Not because we got stuck with some guy that you misevaluated and your ego wouldn't let you bench him.
Right.
Because that's what we were dealing with before. Right. So if he does transfer out, I expect transfers in the future. We should, if they are really good at developing quarterback talent, we're going to have some attrition at that position.
If he transfers out, it's because Finley is out there killing it, or we're not wondering what if, because we already have productivity at the position.
Right.
Because that's just a byproduct. There's only one quarterback on the field, right? And if it's no gadget play, there's only one quarterback on the field.
Yeah. And if I'm Dede, I'm not worried about an incoming freshman taking my spot. I don't care how good he is. I know the scheme better than him. I've been throwing with these guys that are wide receivers longer than he has. And if anything, okay, TJ's great and he's number 1. I should be, in my mind, the automatic number 2, one breath away from being the starting quarterback. Facts. And this guy's got to come take my number 2 spot. I'm not shying away from that.
Yeah, facts.
There's no way I'm like, the only way I can see that being the case is if Bo Nix stays for his senior season and Bo is still the entrenched starter. Now, if Bo loses the job and somebody else is a starter next in his senior season, Dede don't have a reason to. He's like, look, I'm just as good as any of these guys. Why do I need to be? What's the guy's name?
Holder.
Yeah. He can redshirt for all I care.
Griner. Yeah.
He can redshirt for all I care.
Hey, listen, Main Easy says Davis is not transferring. He's ready to battle. And let me tell you, people, he would know.
Yeah.
Right? Maine would know.
And I love that.
Yeah. Now, we don't claim to have sources, right? But I love talking to people who do. Yeah. And he would know. And I thought it was interesting, man. If you see the videos of Davis out there throwing balls, because why? Because there's video of Bo working with the Tennessee guy. It's all over social media.
Uh-huh.
Now they got Finley coming in, and if you're Dede, you're just thinking, wait, they sleeping on me.
Mm-hmm.
Do so at your own peril.
Yeah,
this guy's a winner, and he just happens to be in our quarterback room. And I do hope. I personally, I favor the guy with the highest talent ceiling, if I favor anybody at all.
Right.
Which is why I favor Davis, because I think he has the highest talent ceiling. I think he's the best arm talent. That's just how I've always felt. I'm on record from the beginning.
I think he's the better player. I don't know that he has the highest talent ceiling. To me, I still think Bo's ceiling might be the highest of all of them. I think Bo's floor is lower, though. I think that DD doesn't have as low a floor as Bo. So he has the best. I think he is probably closer to being able to reach his talent ceiling and not have the fluctuations that you have. Just because fundamentally he's better to me from what I've seen in the small bits of tape that I've seen him throw. He's just fundamentally better at a younger age. So
got a question here from Felix. Felix wants to know whatever happened to staying on the depth chart, waiting and paying your dues. 2 words: transfer portal.
Right.
Kids ain't doing it no more.
Yeah.
Let's be clear about that too. That's not saying that people aren't waiting their turn though, because if you're TJ Finley,
want to play.
You were the third string guy on that squad of 2 guys who had a lot of eligibility, and they still brought in another. That's not just waiting your turn. That's like, listen, I want to go somewhere where I feel like I can compete today.
Right. Or how many guys? I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying not where I got to sit and wait for a couple of years to play. Like, waiting your turn is cool, but if I can go somewhere and play today on a team that's equally as good as far as like stature considered nationally, why not go do that?
Right.
I would.
Right. Listen, how many guys in the past waited their turn and then never got their shot?
Right.
That's what paying your dues meant before.
Right.
And why I keep trying to tell people Finley is here to play now is because of what Chris Todd told us. If they're really always trying to bring somebody in that's better than you, why would you wait thinking that it's going to be your turn just for the next freshman stud to come in with a higher talent seed and take the job from you? Time is of the essence, man.
Right.
You want guys who want to play now and will do what it takes to play now.
Especially if you've gotten beat out.
Right.
Like,
There's only a few programs that are developing talent and evaluating, identifying talent that well that sitting pays off. Right. We've seen it at Bama. We've seen it at Clemson. Oklahoma, they've been going out and getting transfers that have come in. But they clearly are better at identifying who the guys with talent are. Ohio State, I mean, there are a few programs where, again, whoever's number 2 is definitely going to get their shot to at least show that they could be number 1. And if they mess up, then number 3 just slides right into number 2.
All right. So I got a question for y'all. And this is my concern. And it's not about bringing TJ Finley in. Is that a good thing? Yes or no? That's a good thing.
Right.
It's why I went to what is the communication between the coaches and the player. Something that we've talked about, reasons that we are for the transfer portal, is because it gives kids a chance who, A, they weren't going to get a shot where they were, or B, they were being lied to by the coaches. Kids get misled because coaches need to stack the deck. They need to tell you whatever you are okay with accepting to keep you on this roster, because you never know what's going to happen. And coaches, you got to do that. Football, everybody is one play away from being out for the season. You got to keep your deck stacked. Excuse me. So here's the thing with when you're talking about what coaches are saying to players. We all say, oh, look, Saban had Tua on the bench. Okay. The next year they played roulette, 2018, right? And Jalen said, nah, I'm not going to be the number 2 guy. I'm out. How does 2019 look for Bama if Jalen is actually there when Tua's dinged up? They lost to us. Matt Jones had no prior on the field experience, right? He comes in, makes some critical mistakes. Maybe those are some inexperienced mistakes. What does that look like at Jalen's 6th round? Jalen Hurts made the decision that I need to be starting. I need to show what I can do, and I need to continue to put out the tape that's going to get me some high draft stock. And he went somewhere that would allow him to do that. Did Bama miss out on a better 2019 season than they could have because somebody left? Because he couldn't get those snaps? Possibly.
Honestly,
possibly.
That's not it. That's not it. What about Georgia? Justin Fields. They decided, hey, we're going to go with the guy here. What's his name? Right? He's okay, but he's a starter. He had been doing some winning. It was more about the defense and the run game, but fine. You know what? Been doing some winning. Can't take that away from him. He leaves because he sees there's not a path for him there. What does Georgia win the next 3 years? 2 years, really. 2 years. Nothing. They win nothing. They never return to those heights. Ohio State, Joe Burrow leaves. He wins a national championship. What did Ohio State get for stacking that room and creating the circumstances that made Joe Burrow make the decision to leave there? Has Ohio State won a national championship? They had a national championship quarterback in their quarterback room, a Heisman winning quarterback in their quarterback room. What did they get for it? Nothing.
They got back there.
They got back there with somebody else's mistake. That was Georgia's mistake. Everybody's making the same mistake. So this is the dynamic that's created. I'm not saying that there's a way around it because it's almost inescapable. You have to get the best guys you can. And if these guys believe that they are talented enough to win a Heisman, to win a national championship, you have to keep them satiated somehow. What they did to Justin Fields at Georgia, that was stupid. Another reason I hate Kirby Smart. That was stupid.
I knew that was
no reason that dude should be sitting behind Jake.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't know that Georgia does the same thing with Fields that Ohio State does, though. I think that's a blessing for Fields, right? So they misidentified. And if you're Georgia, you have not been doing a terrible job at quarterback, right? My whole point is that what the coaches are telling the kids is inconsequential, because if you're a kid now in this day and age, you have to know. You have to know, again, what Todd said. It doesn't matter what they tell me now. They're always trying to bring somebody in that's better.
Yeah. Except now the kids got options. In 2001,
That's why
when it was Jason White, they did.
Right. That's why I love the portal. Because now coaches have an incentive to stick by what they say, or the kid has a one-time, I'm out rule.
I like the portal for that reason. But what I'm saying, and again, I'm just saying, I'm not saying there's a better way to do this. If you are a quality program, you want the best quarterbacks you can get. Only one guy can get snaps. But
No.
You froze.
That's because what you were saying was stupid. Listen, what I'm saying.
You froze for a second, B.
You froze, B.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What I was saying, I heard that, man.
I love you.
No, that ain't what you said. Anyway, you got to keep these kids happy. That's all I'm saying, because I just gave you 3 examples where they didn't keep kids happy and the kids had more success elsewhere, or their standing got worse when the kid left. That, to me, that's not successful. You have to pick the right kid and hope and pray that one of the other kids just stays. The way you actually make that happen, I think the way that you make that happen is by being straight up with all of them. Look, Mac Jones, listen, you're going to sit. Sorry, buddy. You are going to sit. They're all world. All right, I'll sit.
So my question is, are you coming from the assumption that they're not being straight up, or are you saying you don't know and you're hoping that that's what's happening?
I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I don't think the coach owes it. Let me make that clear. The coaches do not owe it to the kids to say, hey, you did all right, not quite good enough, I'm going to get somebody else. I am not saying that they owe them that. I'm saying that is what is most likely to get that kid to stay. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
The cachet you need comes from the product that you put on the field. If you're Saban, or any one of these other guys who have been, or Dabo Sweeney, or any of these guys who've been perennial winners, right? Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of question you could have for their logic when they pick a player, and that does not mean that they're going to get it right every single time, but most of the time they pick the right guy. So my point is that there are a few coaches who, I mean, again, it's just this. If they don't see what your talent is, it doesn't mean that you're not a good player. And now you have an option. And that will bear itself out.
Listen, if you're bringing in multiple guys, you really don't have a problem of missing if you're evaluating properly. You got at least two talented guys for a position duking it out. Someone's going to lose. It's a zero-sum game as it pertains to certain positions on the field. the guy who wins ends up being your guy. So yes, you do want to have more guys, but guess what? There's another recruiting year. You get to do it all over again and bring in multiple people for that same position. And it repeats. It repeats.
Yeah, I guess my point is that if you are in a truly competitive QB room, you leave, it's not always just because they misevaluated. The evaluation piece is tough too, man, about which guy is going to be what.
Yeah.
You know,
It's almost impossible to project that stuff.
Yeah, man, it's tough. All you have to make sure is that whoever you keep also has a high talent ceiling. And if that kid is what you thought he was when you brought him in, he transfers out, he'll go do that someplace else, hopefully. Right, because some
people are just better at it than others, though. Like some coaches just they know how to pick a dog, right? They just and some of them routinely miss, right? Like to your point, Brian, Kirby Smart misses a lot on QBs. I don't know who's doing the QB evaluation at Georgia, but he misses a ton on the quarterback.
They get them to come there,
right?
Right, but then in their evaluation, they may not.
Well, he just.
Oh, I'm dying.
Listen, but even when he picked the right QB, he had the wrong system for him. Like you really thought Justin Fields was going to?
That's still misevaluation, right? Like that's not understanding who the guy should be for your team, right? Just having a talented quarterback does not mean you're automatically going to have the guy that plays well for your. And that's and be clear, that's really the challenge that Brian Harsin is up against.
Right.
Everybody who thought Brian Harsin was coming here and he was we're gonna muddle our way through a season. That ain't the mentality that they're coming from. It's clear. Brian Harsin said, I came to Auburn to win today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to, we'll see if we can. Like his expectation is to get W's, bro. Like he
really does have a 1-0 mentality.
He's like, no, we're winning, bro. Like I don't forget all that stuff y'all talk about. 6-6, and you got to be patient. I'm impatient. I want to win today. Mm-hmm. Go get me guys. Hey, recruiting room, go get me some guys because we're gonna go play ball tomorrow, and I need to be ready to go play ball tomorrow. All this other stuff people talking about and build the program. Yeah, I'm gonna build a juggernaut today, and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna whoop somebody's ass tomorrow.
Yeah, facts, right? But you can't do that if you're bringing in players who have resigned themselves to being number 2 before the competition has even started, which is why Finley's not here to be Bo's backup. Even if he does end up being Bo's backup, that's not why he's coming.
Correct. Right.
And some of the other schools that were recruiting him, I think it was a lot clearer that he was going to be that dude's backup.
Right.
So he came here because he thought he could win the job here. He said as much. And again, I said it on our last, if you're Bo, you just take this personally, man, and you elevate your game.
Yeah.
There's
absolutely no reason why Bo should not take this personally.
He should take it personally.
Listen, team player, all that, yada, yada. All right, great. We can be a team player. Hold my clipboard, cuz.
Right.
That's what part of the team you do.
Big fact.
Yeah. I'm glad you transferred. Great. But the job is mine until I decide to leave.
Indeed.
And if he plays that way, then it is what it is. We win. We win as Auburn fans. And if he doesn't, we appreciate your service. And we got some guys here who can get the job done.
Yeah.
And then maybe what happens is, best case scenario, you start putting these junior quarterbacks in the league. So when you recruit your next guy,
you don't even have to worry about him.
Yeah, he knows he's going to see the field because he's not going to sit behind a 4-year starter that's doing mediocre.
Right.
All of this is alleviated if Bo Nix, and I don't know what creates this. If he plays great, we way surpass expectations, and he declares. That is the best thing that can happen to Auburn for this current year in our season, for our quarterback room, and for our standing with the next quarterback that we recruit. That's the absolute best scenario.
To Mike G's point,
go ahead.
To Mike G's point, it makes recruiting a top QB a lot easier when you do stuff like that.
That's the absolute best scenario. Is Bo Nix is the lights out Nick. I mean, he is just absolutely. I saw and we definitely weren't ignoring your question. I saw Nola Trey ask a couple of times, what do we rate Bobo's ability to develop quarterbacks at? Like, what grade would you give him in that ability? But you know, I'm a little hesitant to give him a grade on his development of a quarterback. I do know that he has an eye for talent for quarterbacks, but if you're given the track record of what he did in, you know, South Carolina, I don't know that their quarterbacks were markedly better after a season with Mike Bobo there, right? Part of that is, admittedly, the system that Mike Bobo prefers does not put the quarterback in positions to be a world beater, right? Like, he wants that guy to just be a facilitator and a game manager in his system typically, right? And two, I don't know that he was able to get world beater talent, you know, whether they were, you know, world beater talent that could reach another level. So there's a thing that we have to talk about when we talk about talent evaluation, right? Or excuse me, talent development. There's the evaluation part. He might be able to have the best eye for talent in the world and never be able to recruit the guy to come to the school where he is, because nobody wants to go play at South Carolina. Sorry, I know y'all beat us last year. If you're South Carolina fans, nobody wants to go play there. Right. So it's hard to get quality quarterback talent to come there, especially if Muschamp's your head coach.
That's fact.
Right. So that's difficult. So the guy that you get only has so much that you can pull out of him. I don't care how good you are at talent development. If his talent ceiling is the 5th floor in a 20-story high rise, you ain't going to get much out of that guy.
And you was only there a year in a season where you had COVID and no spring. Like, it's hard to gauge what that guy was able to do with the talent he even had. You know what I mean? Like, but you almost had to give him a mulligan for last year anyway.
But having said all of that, I do like Bobo's ability to eye talent, and I do like what I've seen him do with quarterbacks that have had talent. In those Georgia days, you know, he put guys in the league.
Yeah.
So he clearly knows how to look at a QB and say, you've got professional ability. Let me bring that out of you, put you in a position to be able to go to the NFL. He's done it, right? I've seen him do that. I don't have to wonder about that. But I think the difference in what we're going to see, and the reason why I say I'm not ready to give him a grade right now is because I don't know that I've seen him make an evaluation or a quarterback development in a scenario where he was not also the guy putting the offense together, right? Like, I know how to evaluate guys for my offense. Can you evaluate guys for this new offense that's going to be some hybrid of what Harsin does and what I do? I don't know. I don't know yet whether or not he can put a guy in the great position for that yet. What I do know is he knows how to make a guy get on his back foot, 3rd step drop, get the ball out, because I've seen him do that over and over and over again. Pre-snap read. This is what the offense is supposed to be lined up in. This is what the defense is supposed to do. Do you know how to check out of that stuff? We saw him do that in A-Day, a thing that Bo Nix has never had to do his entire time playing football. He came and did that well during A-Day. So clearly Mike Bobo knows what he's doing. The question is whether or not he can pull all of that talent out of Bo Nix and get him to the place where, again, best case scenario, he's an NFL caliber quarterback at the end of this season and he goes and declares for the NFL draft.
Yeah, listen, I'm thinking to myself, the jury is still out on whether this offensive staff is going to be able to scheme around whatever deficiencies we end up still having when the season starts, because there are going to be some. And that may depend on who plays quarterback. And then if we make a switch after game 4, what is the plan? How quickly can they evaluate what packages they have for what Bo does well and for what Finley does well, or vice versa?
Well, you kind of hope they kind of start figuring that out during fall camp.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, competing.
Summer. They got to figure out in the summer. You got to look at Finley's tape and you got to try because, listen, man, Finley is coming from a system closer to what Harsin and Bo were going to run than what Bo's been in the last couple of years.
Right.
Right. So you've got to start figuring out a plan for both quarterbacks now. I just want to see whether or not we're going to be trying to stick a square peg in a round hole all season if something's not working. Are they going to try to mold the players to their system in year 1, or are they going to have some hybrid where again, some of it is that, but you have to flex a little bit for what your players do and don't do well. Right. And I think that that's a good coaching staff, knows how to highlight strengths and cover weaknesses, with talented players. So,
and that's the one thing I will say. I think that Mike Bobo has done the best in all of his stops is say, I know what this guy's capability is. I ain't going to try to make him do too much.
Right. Yeah. Why not coffee? Wait, what is this? Let's be fair. Not why Finley is in Auburn.
Oh, he was just saying he agrees with you. They're here to play.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're all here to play, man. Listen, competition just needs to be back. That's the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. The competition is back, and it's a true competition. And one guy, and they all get better because of it. It doesn't matter who wins the job, as long as it's truly the best guy. That's all I'm saying. Is if it's actually the best guy. And all this picking favorites and stuff, the only negative bias I have against some guys is that we know what they are because we've seen it on tape. Right. And for other guys, and we haven't been able to trust the evaluation of the guys that we have not seen on tape.
Right.
And hopefully we can just start trusting both now. A lot of this is let's just wait and see what it's going to be, right? But I do like this move, man. Finley coming in is a big deal. I don't think that Gus makes this move.
No.
I don't think he brings Finley in.
But does Finley want to come in?
Right. Well, yeah, there's that too.
Wouldn't even come here. No. If I was a quarterback and I had been watching Auburn for the last 5 years, I would not come here.
Yeah.
I would not have.
So again, this move signals a lot.
Yeah.
Like it means a lot in so many ways. It's just a sign. It's just a sign that things are really changing. What that amounts to on the field to be determined. But I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike G.
Listen, we are officially partnered with the Lee County Humane Society. So, guys, this is the good that we've chosen to put back in the world. We're going to help them save animals from now until such a time that we decide that we are done doing so, which might be never. So, Ike and I both are the beneficiaries of rescue animals. This charity is near and dear to our hearts. They're doing great work at the Lee County Humane Society. So, we're giving away a Bo Jackson card to everybody who drops hashtag save a pet in the comment section right now. I'm looking at 32 entries. We're about to draw right now. So if you want to enter your name for this Bo Jackson Kansas City Royals card, please drop a save a pet, hashtag save a pet in the comments right now before we draw. So other than that, please become an insider. $6.99. Will get you access to our premium content, of which there will be a lot more in the few coming weeks. And I know you guys are big fans of the Building Rapport series, where we do interviews with writers and former players. And I'm going to tease it. We have some interviews coming that might be all the way behind our paywall. They are really, really, really good. So our platform has grown, and we're getting access to people, and people want to talk to us. And watching these interviews on the War Report is different from other outlets that you could watch on, in that we ask questions that others won't. And it's not tabloidy. It's not gotcha. It's just information that real fans want to know. And we get those questions from you guys interacting with us daily in our comment section. Right. That shapes a lot of our content. So thank you to everybody who watches and comments. Like, we appreciate the back and forth. It really helps us go to the people who talk to us and say, hey, man, fans want to know this. Let's talk about things that fans actually want to know, and not these fluffy questions that get asked because some of these people can't come up with real questions to ask. Right. So I'm really proud of the Building Rapport series. We formed some great relationships with other media members, as well as players and current staff. Bradley LaRondo's interview was amazing. If you haven't seen that, please go back and watch that if you want to get an idea of what kind of culture Harsin is bringing in. And then again, we have some other interviews coming that I think you guys will be really happy with. So that being said, we are about to draw. I got 50 entries. I saw a few more jump in right at the end here. So let me pull this up. All right. It's last chance. Hashtag save a pet if you want to get in this. We do this on stream so you guys can see that it is on the up and up. I saw one more entry. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds before I hit the draw button. Drum roll, please. Man. And there you go. B, we need a drum roll.
I was about to say, B, where you at with the sound effects, man?
Y'all gotta remind me, man. Y'all gotta remind me.
Who is it going to be this week? Oh, Matt Butterworth. Matt, are you with us? Drop us a comment.
Now you need to
right now. I don't know that I've seen that name before.
I don't think I've ever seen that name either.
First time viewing and you want something?
Well, it's probably not first time viewing, but first time commenting maybe, because I haven't seen that name in the comments before. But Matt,
we need you to comment. We need you to comment for us.
Let's make sure you're still here because you got to be present to win.
You got to be present,
and we need to tell
you. We're gonna give you a few moments.
I say because we'll draw again if you don't comment.
If you don't answer, Matt. I got 258 people.
You got a lot of people hoping you ain't commenting. Oh, there he goes.
There you go. They said it's first time commenter. All right,
okay,
Matt,
all right, Matt.
You need to email us at thewarreport@gmail.com. Thewarreport@gmail.com. Send us your address. We will get that card in the mail to you. Those of you who have won cards already can attest. We're not just playing out here. We actually sending the cards out. Definitely big shouts out to our man Risk No Reward, Dirt Road Outfitters on eBay. So y'all go check out his eBay store. He's got a lot of other stuff, not just the Bo Jackson stuff. Yeah, man. Beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yes. Love doing that. I love being able to give back to our community.
Be sure to. There it is for you.
Yeah. So other than that, we do have a building report series. I don't have a graphic, but we do have a building report interview coming with Justin Ferguson from the Auburn Observer. Caesar and I sat down with him to talk about recruiting numbers and budgets and the correlation between recruiting and winning. So we'll drop that interview Saturday for our insiders. Shout out to Justin at the Auburn Observer for giving us a little bit of his time. That was a fun conversation with him that we're looking forward to sharing with you all. Auburn Dad for Life is tripping me out, man. he was in that spicy penguin mode where it was on him, right?
Yeah, I thought you wanted to.
Yeah. Corey, I
don't think it works that way, but
hey, listen, give it a shot. Maybe we'll email you back a picture of a Bo Jackson card. How about that?
Yeah. This is what you could have won.
Oh man.
Well, we're going to get out of here, man. Y'all, as always, please remember to share this video on your social media. We feel like this was a great show tonight, man. Great conversation about a very relevant topic related to Auburn athletics. So please be sure to share this amongst the Auburn family, amongst your friends. Let them know that we're out here dropping great content. Guys, please remember to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. As for social media, you can find us on both Twitter and Instagram at The War Report. We are TW Report on TikTok. We are signing off. Guys, continue to have a great week. And as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.